What's going on, y'all? It's the kid FortWorthFabian, BigBossFabo. I'm back with the reaction video for you guys. I'm actually doing a reaction to active self-protection, man. The active self-protection channel that actually specializes in teaching you, active self-protection techniques in real time from previous situations captured on camera. Been doing a few of these reactions for a minute now. Just wanted to drop one. I checked out one that I seen on the channel called Seattle Man Stops 3 Separate Robbery Attempts at His Home. So, definitely just caught the attention. Well, let's check it out. Let's react to it together. Today's video, basically 3 separate robbery attempts. I guess this is captured from, what they get is from the Feds? The Feds' page? The FBI? I'm capping. I don't know where they get a lot of this footage from, but obviously I think this is the man's home footage. So let's hop into the reaction. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Instagram, Twitter at FortWorthFabian. I actually try to link to I'll link to my active self-protection playlist. Have several reactions there, so check that out within the description as well as comment section down below. So let's hop into the video.
Today we get to see one homeowner have 3 separate instances of having to defend his home against thieves, and that's maybe a lesson in and of itself. Hi everyone, welcome to today's lesson here at Active Self-Protection. I'm your host, John Correa. Today's video comes to us from Seattle, Washington.
I use Throom targets on the range for all the benefits of steel with none of the drawbacks. They're made in the USA too.
In here, these guys are backing up a truck because they see that he has motorcycles in his carport. We do have audio on the surveillance cameras. Let's listen in.
Ha ha ha. These fools pull up with a whole U-Haul trying to rob what? Take his bikes? Wild. The alarm's gonna go off. So he got a little Ring camera.
Put it down!
Ha 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 ha. He roll up. Homie pull up in his drawers. He came out the blue.
Put it down! Put it down! Down! What the fuck is it down? I'm not sure if they skedaddled because of the gun or the naked guy. This next one is actually them trying to steal a catalytic converter. Let's listen. Yeah! What's up, huh? Huh? What are you doing? Huh? Huh? Come on, fucker!
So I guess he owns some type of chop shop, some type of car where he establishes where he houses vehicles.
They skedaddled because of the gun or the naked guy. This next one is actually them trying to steal a catalytic converter. Let's listen. Yeah!
Haha. You're ready to go.
Huh? What are you doing? Huh? Huh? Come on, fucker! They left instead with a whole bunch of broken windows while he was on the phone with 911. In this last one, back after the motorcycles here, but he has, our guy that owns the bikes has actually locked that bike down. It has a post drilled into the concrete floor that has this bike locked up with a really high level chain. So they're gonna have a hard time getting it out of there because it's locked down. Again, we still have audio.
These fools are dumb. You can't tell something's holding it down? Come on, bro. Oh, shit. Oh. We're gonna have y'all cornered. This fool. He said, floor it. This fool's scared. Look, he ran around to the passenger side, pushed whoever was in the passenger seat over to the driver's seat because he was too scared to go directly to the driver. This fool is just caught in the garage. Look at him. Nowhere to go. He said, ooh, shit. Oh, shit. This fool. He breaks the window. Damn. It looked like somebody screaming. Some girl's in the car. Oh my God. And he forces her to get into the driver's seat. I didn't do it. How you gonna force your girl to get in the driver's seat?
If you go click through to the originals from the guy that this happened to, he's got a little bit of commentary on that. I don't know, though, if he ever got a hold of the police or if they ever did anything about any of this. To me, certainly seems like it might be time to find a new place to live if you possibly could. He said he watches these surveillance cameras and every time he gets a little bit better at what he should be doing. I think let's help him out on that today and let's think about lessons. Man, I think there's a bunch of great lessons here. Make sure, though, you go over to the second channel, Active Self-Protection Extra, and subscribe and watch every Friday morning John's Briefs that we talk about the legal and moral issues involved in self-defense because they're important and I don't want you to end up in jail. Think about them here. You know, I lived in apartments for a lot of years and they can be very high crime areas because of the parking lots like this. You know, people leave stuff out, people want to steal motorcycles and stuff like that. It's not all that uncommon. So these guys coming in, you know, I get it that our homeowner here, he wants to surveil his stuff and get some cameras on him and it notifies him if somebody's messing around with that. Well, what are you going to do when somebody is messing around with it? You better think that stuff out in advance. And I think having these kinds of surveillance cameras is very wise for just such a thing. But recognize then, what am I going to do when it catches somebody trying to steal my stuff? Is it morally acceptable to stop someone from stealing your property? Of course it is. Now, of course, I think people are going to wonder here what my thoughts are when this guy comes out with a firearm in his hand. You heard him rack around into the chamber and start accosting these guys to put his bike down. I actually have zero problems with him having a firearm. One of the things that I noticed, he has it out in front of him at a low ready position. Having a firearm on your person is perfectly acceptable to defend your life. You just don't want to shoot somebody over the property, right? So again, to have the firearm on your person, no problem whatsoever. If they then turn to try to attack you and you are at risk of death or great bodily harm, that's why you have the firearm on your person, and it's to defend yourself while you go out and say, no, I'm going to use ordinary physical force to stop these guys. Usually your presence and a threat of hey, the cops are on the way, will do it. Next thing I want to notice, though, is that he is in his skivvies, and that's how you're going to defend yourself in the middle of the night, is you are not going to put all your kit on or whatever. You might grab your firearm, maybe a light if you got one in the immediate vicinity, and you're going to fight in your birthday suit. So prepare for that. At least he's wore some chones to bed or whatever so that he's not worried about, you know, standing out there and freeing Willie. Now, these guys run off, and I think it's great that he didn't actually use the firearm in terms of firing the gun. The presence of the firearm scared them off. He kept his bike. I think that's absolutely a win to keep his stuff. Now, of course, you got to go back in, and I would get on the phone with 911 because you've had a firearm involved in the incident. Now, in this next one, these guys are trying to steal his catalytic converter of his neighbor, so he comes out with a baseball bat. If you go click through to the original on this one, he said he had a gun in his pocket, but came out with the baseball bat. Recognize, number one, that a baseball bat is every bit as much a deadly force tool as a firearm. In the eyes of the law, they're going to see it no differently than a firearm in the sense of one hit with a baseball bat is highly likely to cause death or great bodily harm to someone. And therefore, I'm not saying it was an inappropriate tool to have, but just recognize it's not a less lethal tool. Now, he's going to go out there and stop these guys. I got no problem
with it. AKA, you can still fuck somebody up, bottom line. But, you know, baseball bat ain't as intimidating as a firearm. Let's keep it a buck.
That once again, I think that from a moral perspective, you know, being your brother's keeper, helping your neighbors is good, but recognize it can be highly dangerous because these guys might be violent. They might have guns on them or knives or something like that as well. So you got to take that into account. Is this a risk I'm willing to take for my neighbor's catalytic converter? Well, maybe, maybe not. I would think it'd have to be a pretty darn good friend for that. Now, he's going to start bashing the windows on their vehicle that they've come in here with and kind of making them pay. This is clearly punitive in this particular case. He's just trying to make it so it's painful for them so that they don't come back. Now, of course, in this particular case, does he have a legal right to do harm to their property? The answer to that is no. But are they going to press charges against him being as they who are involved in the illegal act? I think also no. So, you know, I mean, I don't think it was necessarily the best idea. It's not the most upstanding thing, but at the same time, it maybe makes these guys think twice about it. So I'm not going to give him too hard a time about that. Recognize again, though, he's closing distance, and so therefore he is putting himself at increased risk. He did say that they left like a drill and a jack stand and a jack and those kinds of things. So he got some tools out of the deal. Well, good for him on that. And they got a bunch of busted windows. And again, I don't have any problems with defending your neighborhood, with defending your property. And again, they'll recognize ordinary force is different than lethal force when it comes to these kinds of things. I think he was very wise here to put a lock on the bike. Might have been even wiser to put a sign up there that says this bike is completely locked down, don't bother, because he's been having enough problems with it. Maybe announcing this is under surveillance camera and, you know, it's locked down and you're not going to get it out of here. Well,
because honestly, these fools are stupid enough to keep messing with it. Like, I would have given up after like the first few seconds, realizing it's locked down. These guys really think they can still move it.
Keep this from happening to begin with and keep you from having these kinds of instances. Because he comes out this time in a pair of sweats and now he uses his handgun to bash in the window. This one I don't like very much at all for several reasons. Number one, using your handgun as a bludgeoning tool, he could very easily have knocked the base plate of his magazine off there, dumped all his magazine all over the deck, and had a single shot gun. Number two, he is waving that gun all around and pointing it in places that I cannot say for any reasonable certainty is a direction of least consequence. And that's rule number one of safe firearms handling. Always keep firearms pointed in the direction of least consequence. He doesn't do that here where he is angry. I totally get that. And he's, you know, trying to argue with these people and then pointing a gun, whacking that gun into the rear window and then breaking the window with it. I don't think doing that with the muzzle is smart, is responsible firearms ownership. I get that he's mad. And I even get that you have a firearm on your person, like I said before, to defend yourself, to stop the property crime, you know, as a means of, hey, I'm not going to let somebody harm me when I go out there to stop this crime. I do think having something that actually is an intermediate force option is a wise thing here. And that's why you might end up with something like a big can, you know, big fogger of OC that you keep near your self-defense and your home defense tool so you can grab that and have something else as well. We've even toyed with the idea of something like a bump in the night belt, though I haven't flushed that out completely. So I got no problems with what this guy did. I think that from a perspective of is it okay for him to have a firearm to defend his life while he goes out and defends his property? Absolutely. I think that last one, gosh, man, that starts to get into the realm of really unwise. So let's make sure we've planned things out, we do things the right way, and that we don't put ourselves in trouble, both from a practical perspective and from a legal perspective, as we seek to cover our asp.
That's active self-protection, man. Seattle man stops 3 separate robbery attempts on things at his home, man. He held it down, though. You got to give it to him. He held it down. He was protecting his friend's property, his neighbor's property, or whatever it was. You know, ran people off. He needs to have some type of security system. He got the cameras, but like some type of gate. It seems like they're just able to pull up right into the parking lot there. So let me know y'all's thoughts on that one in the comment section below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter at FortWorthFabian. It's the road to 1 million, man. Peace, love, prosperity. Everybody rocking with the channel. Got 7 more reactions on the way. Check out my active self-protection playlist. We'll catch you guys in the next video, man. We out.